Good morning, y'all. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing? Get to my live chat. Oh my goodness, guys, it's chilly out here. I had pajama shorts on and I had to go put me some sweats on, a t-shirt and a sweater. And it's chilly here. Hey, Lisa Irwin, good morning. Charlie Girl says, Miss Tammy, good morning. Let me scroll, checking convictions. It's a crying shame. Matt, Cement Shoes, Faithful One, Hibiscus, good morning. Jack's mom, Kathy. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Y'all know if I miss your name, it's not on purpose. I got ADHD and I miss a lot. A whole lot. Hey, Nikki P, good morning. So, guys, tonight we're going to do a member street. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I'll come up with something for us today. We can play a game. We can chit chat. Ghost stories. I'm a little bit burnt out on ghost stories right now. So we'll probably play Never Have I Ever. I'll find us some good ones tonight. Not too dirty, though. Anyways, guys, hey, I've been trying to catch up on this Dawn and Candace Wells drama this morning. XOMOs, manifestos. I can't believe I said that correctly. Good morning. Welcome. So let's talk about Summer Wells first before we talk about Chad Dunbell's Children of the Corn interview last night. That's what I've been calling his children. I know they're victims too in a way, but they are just so blind. I mean, they act like children of the corn. They really do. You know, like in that movie, how they're like all brainwashed and stuff. That's the way that they act. And, of course, you know, they're blaming everything on Lori. Everything was fine until Lori came into the picture. But we'll get into that in a minute because I got an awesome article that goes over the entire episode. Yes, so I'm going to read that to y'all. But first, let's talk about Summer Wells. So there was a big rumor going around yesterday that Dawn Wells got arrested. But Voices Behind the Wild said yesterday morning that she had talked to him a few hours before her live. So I reckon Dawn and Candace just made this crap up. Can y'all believe it? And Candace called, I guess, Dawn's stepsister, Mary. She recorded the phone call. She said she gave it to TBI, saying that, you know, the police came and got Don or something and took him to Boston. The feds did. And I reckon it's just a bunch of bullcrap. Why would they do this and their daughter missing? I was just listening to the recorded phone call on Unmasked channel. You can't hardly understand Candace. I mean, she's like mumbling and crying and going on. Checking convictions, planned evil. Kathy Reynolds makes me sick. Those people would do that. Yeah, well, I think it shows a lot about them, and y'all was right about them. See, I was trying to give them benefit of the doubt. Every one of y'all was right about them. There's something up with those two. And Voices Behind the Wild, I guess he turned on her after she tried to help him, give him the benefit of the doubt and stuff. I reckon he turned on her. I was listening to her stream this morning, a little bit of it. And she said that his mask fell off like this past Saturday around 8 p.m., I believe she said. And I guess he was just started giving her hell. I don't know. I didn't watch the rest of the stream. I don't know what his beef was with her, but I believe he was manipulating her. Don is a manipulator. Everybody was right about him. His stepsisters, he's a manipulator. And he's an asshole. And probably he's an abusive person. And he could only hide that for so long. He was all goody goody talking with Cher and her husband and all that. That only lasted so long. I should go listen to that one. Yeah, go listen to it. I think it was the last stream she did last night. I only listened to a little bit of it. But she said something about Candace saying that the cartel took Summer or something. She did this for channel building only, in my opinion. Anyone still covering Watts needs to get a life. They moved from Watts to Summer. Well, poor Summer's case, I mean, it's turned into a freaking soap opera. And Don is to blame, really. If he'd have kept his mouth shut. I mean, this to me don't act like, I mean, to me, it's not the acts of innocent people coming up with a prank like this. And Cher did say something about Don liking to prank or something like that. Coming up with prank. Voices had his back and supported them both. I know was sharing their PayPal link or whatever, Cash App link, whatever it was, and everything. And he turned on him. He turns on everybody. See, when you fall out with everybody that you encounter, it's not those people. It's you. I know there's people, YouTube creators like that. They fall out with everybody they encounter. It's not the people they encounter. It's them. Cher said that Dawn wanted to play a prank on everyone weeks ago and Cher wouldn't be part. Okay, is that what she was saying? See, I've been having to deal with dogs. Smokey's not doing good, guys. I was up at 4 o'clock this morning with him, carrying him outside. So, I didn't get to listen to everything. She seemed really stressed out to me, and this is probably the best thing that could have happened for her is to cut ties with Dawn, because look how much hate she was getting anyways. That's got to be stressful. He's not worth it. Just follow the case like I do. I don't get involved like that. You know what I mean? I just don't. I just like to come on here, talk about true crime with y'all, and that's it. I don't like to get personally involved. I think nobody should give Dawn another platform. That's what I think. She should have never supported Don Wells. They say that Don was at work that day. Hell, he might have been, for a while, I believe. Well, he probably was at work. I've always been real suspicious of Candace myself. I tried to go with the abduction theory and think, hey, it could be possible. But look, guys, they live up in the freaking boonies. I mean, if someone did abduct her, it'd have to be a local that was familiar with the area, right? To know about the dog trail, to sneak up there. I just don't see how anyone could abduct a child and everybody freaking home. All those dogs around, but they say the dogs weren't there that day. Those dogs take off and for days and then come back. They probably have to go out and hunt for food if truth's known. Flip, cannot believe her. Dawn is just icky. Hey, he's a piece of crap, and so is Candace. I mean, that's my opinion on it right now. They're both pieces of crap. Like, what kind of parents do that in their daughter missing? Pull pranks. I look for them too. They may be arrested. Now, Dawn's stepsister, I think Mary's his stepsister, right? Stepsister, said she gave the recording to police. I wonder what the TBI is thinking about this, y'all. Them pulling pranks like that. It's making them think something. Dawn would have been a bully at school. Yeah. Yeah, he must have one of those Jekyll and Hyde personalities, Matt. After that call was done by Candace, Dawn tells me they're fully aware of what happened to Summer. Yeah, there must have been an accident and a cover up, guys, or something. I don't think the damn cartel's involved with them two weirdos, them two hillbilly idiots. And I know I'm a country person, y'all, but I'm not no damn hillbilly. Them two right there, that's what you call freaking hillbillies right there. Them two birds. Most country folks has got common sense and their houses is clean and they're respectable people. It's like the rest of society. Then you come upon weirdos like that. Remy, the cartels, LOL. Yeah, okay. I saw someone in unmasked live chat saying the mob might have took him. Look, if the cartel was going to come and take Summer, they wouldn't have left Candace or anyone else alive up on that hill. I can tell them that right now. Duh. Don't they watch stuff about the cartel on documentaries? The cartel, they came in. I was watching this one. They came in on somebody in Florida, a family. They cut every damn one of their heads off, kids included, with machetes. I swear. It happened like in the 80s down in Florida. I feel like even hillbillies aren't this bad. Definitely substance abuse. Well, Voices Behind the Wall, she put up a little short video, and the thumbnail was the picture of Dawn and Candace when they did that interview with WJHL, and they were sitting down. Y'all remember that interview? I kept saying she's high on something. Well, anyways, she says in that video they were high when they did that interview. I knew it. I knew she done more than smoked weed and drank beer. I'm telling you, I believe the day that Summer went missing, old Granny went to the ER for knee pain. Y'all know why she did that. To get pills. She must have been out of her pills. And then, don't y'all think it's funny that Hunter hooked up with them? Granny's getting her pills filled. I bet Allie bought some of them pills. She sent Hunter to get them off of Granny and Candace. I could bet you my life. I've always thought that. It really made me think it when I saw Allie in that interview with her big belly hanging out and nodding out. I was like, yep. I bet she bought some of Granny's pills she got at the ER that day. Guarantee it. Well, I don't know, guys, but them two birds is sick. They're sick individuals for pulling something like they pulled. That day is so suspicious for so many reasons. I know it. Another question I have is, did the TBI search the entire yard? Because drug addicts may hide stuff. There's also that river. Well, supposedly they searched, what, up to like 5 miles or more? I'm sure they searched the yard good. If they had dogs up there, you'd think a dog would have sniffed out the drugs, maybe. I don't know. Candy and Candace were high that day. It wasn't 5 minutes. It was at least an hour and had an accidental file would explain everything. Yeah, like how does she get gone like within 2 minutes? Like if you're in a crowded place or something, it's easy for a kid to get gone like that real quick, within 2 minutes they can be gone or something. But everybody was freaking home, y'all. And she wasn't a kid that wandered off and stuff. Something is not right. There was a kayak at the back of the house. Oh, really? Those two kayak? They don't seem like the type. I don't know. Okay, and Voices Behind the Wall, she said they was both abusive to each other. And it was a toxic relationship. Hell, we already knew that. If she wandered off, I'm saying it's possible, but they say no chance she did. I think if she wandered off, the dogs would have picked up a scent of her. That's what I think. And they say the dogs picked up a scent, down the dog trail to the road, and it ended. They could have took her body down that way. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what happened. But I don't think the creek was deep. Yeah, if she fell in the creek or something and drowned, they would have found her. Unless Candace found her and got rid of her. I don't know what happened. It's like she just disappeared into thin air. I think Candace knows what happened for sure. That's what I think at this point. It reminds me of Barry setting up scenario. Yeah. If she was abducted, like you said, it had to be a local. They had to know she'd be outside in the general layout of the property. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Cindy. Yeah, it would have definitely had to been a local. I just don't know if she was abducted. Like I said, I don't know what happened to her, but I think Candace knows. I don't know if Dawn knows, but I think Candace knows. Dawn's an attention whore. That's what I think about Dawn at this point. He's an attention whore. They both are attention whores. Candace, she won't give no interviews or, won't talk to nobody, but she'll pull pranks. It's bullcrap. That just don't seem like I know it's not something a normal parent would do when their child is missing. I think it says a lot about them that the other kids was took out of the home anyways. Candace must have stayed on the road all the time. That's why she didn't clean house. That place is awful. Awful. No kid should have been living like that. I know that's an old house. They could do better than that right there. The kitchen all piled up. I mean, just dirty floors and stuff. I don't know how people live like that. Okay, so the reward fund surpassed $38,000 for summer. Let's see what else it says. The Churchill Rescue Squad, which manages the fund, reported Wednesday the reward fund stood at $38,295, which includes a $3,295 donated at the bank and 2 checks worth a combined $35,000. Those wishing to donate to the reward fund can do so by visiting any Civis Bank branch and requesting to put money in the Churchill Rescue Squad Summer Wells reward account. Locations: 210 East Main Street, Rogersville; 150 South Central Avenue, Churchill; 161 Main Street, Sneedville. Anyone with information on Summer's whereabouts is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. I figured the reward would be bigger than that now, which is a good size reward, of course. Okay, hold on. Now, let's talk about the Children of the Corn's interviews, y'all. Last night. We're going to review this. I got us a good article. And before I forget, let's pray that they find Summer or find out what happened to her. Hey, Alyssa. Put some whiskey, cocaine, 2 Candaces, a pile of junk on a mountain. What do you get? A pig farm. Poor Summer and those boys. I know it. Unfortunately, reward funds rarely ever help find someone, especially a child. I know it. I don't know if they'll ever find out what happened to her. This could be like another Dior Coons case. Still don't know what happened to that little feller. He just disappeared from the campsite. Allegedly, some people think his parents were involved. I don't know what I think about that. It's awful strange that they never did find, like, his body, no bones, none of his torn clothes or anything. Okay. So, Chad Daybell's children claimed he was fooled in the worst, most deadly way possible by Hoary Lori Vallow. And I'm going to read y'all this. This goes over the entire episode last night. Of course, we'll give some commentary on it. Let me get it all pulled up here. This is crazy. I guarantee that Chad is telling his children that this was all Lori's fault. These kids are so brainwashed. They don't even think that their dad was having an affair with Lori. They don't think he was having an inappropriate relationship. Because they said in his mind, he wasn't having sex with her, so he wasn't doing anything wrong. Are they crazy? Of course he was having sex with her. Lord have mercy. Okay. In the case that gripped the nation, the disappearance of 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, her 7-year-old brother, J.J. Vallow, their mother, Lori Vallow, and her new husband, Chad Daybell, refusing to tell anyone where the children were. Months after vanishing into thin air, their bodies were found buried in Daybell's backyard outside of Rexburg, Idaho. Daybell and Vallow are now charged with first-degree murder in the deaths of the children. Daybell has pleaded not guilty to murder charges and remains behind bars. After a year of public silence, Daybell's 5 children, convinced their father is innocent, are speaking out together for the first time to 48 hours. My father needs someone to be a voice for him, Emma Murray tells 48 Hours, to let people know what's real, what we know. Bless her heart. She's dumb as a box of rocks. They want to tell his story, how they believe JJ and Tylee's remains ended up in their father's backyard, and why they believe he did not do it. They believe he was lured into a web of murder and deceit. So where does his responsibility come into this, in his children's mind? Because I watched this whole episode. Well, I fell asleep last night, so I had to watch it this morning. And, they just act like he's not responsible for anything at all. Anything at all. It's all Lori's fault. It's all Lori's fault. Up until that terrible day when authorities swarmed their father's property looking for 2 missing kids, the 5 Daybell children said they were just an ordinary Mormon family living outside Rexburg, Idaho. That has changed. Emma Murray. People are acting like we've done horrible crimes and that we are going to hurt people. People sent me Facebook messages threatening my son. That's just daily life now. Well, people shouldn't be doing that. But girl, you are a weirdo. I watched your interview, and you are a weirdo, and you don't have much emotion either. They don't hardly have any sympathy for Tylee and JJ. It's all for their freaking weirdo father. Their father, Chad Daybell, is charged with one of the most savage crimes to ever befall this community. The murders of his new wife's 2 children, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, 7-year-old JJ Vallow. Mark Daybell. It's just not possible. Anyone who says that my dad could kill a person doesn't know my dad. Well, your dad had 2. He murdered your mama, honey, and he's charged for it. And they got evidence to prove it, or they wouldn't charge him for it. And he had 2 kids buried in his backyard. He did it. Okay, so the interviewer, Jonathan Vigalotti. The evidence doesn't look good. Emma. I think I would interpret it as many people have, but we have to remember that this is just one side of the story, and it does look really bad. Lord have mercy. The Daybell siblings, Emma, Mark, Leah, Seth, Garth, are speaking out together for the first time. They say, we've only heard one side of the story, and they're here to tell their father's side and how they believe the remains of Tylee and JJ ended up in their father's backyard. It's a story that begins with their stepmother, Lori Vallow. Jonathan Vigalotti with Emma Daybell, with Emma in Daybell's backyard. Looking back, was your father meeting Lori and marrying her the worst mistake of his life? Emma. Absolutely. None of this would have happened if Lori Vallow had never come into my family's life. That's bullcrap. That's bullcrap because your dad was a weirdo anyways. The Lori Vallow the world has come to know, the Doomsday Mom, who refused to say where her children were. The woman now accused with Chad Daybell of murdering her own 2 kids is nothing like the doting mother April Raymond once considered a dear friend. April Raymond, she did everything for JJ, everything for Tylee. They were the center of her world. And so I'm not sure what hijacked that priority. The evil come out in her. April Raymond met Lori in 2015 in Hawaii. At that time, Lori was married to businessman Charles Vallow, and the two were raising the 2 children. Tylee, Lori's teenage daughter from a former marriage, and their adopted son JJ, the grandson of Charles's sister, Kay Woodcock. JJ had autism, and Lori seemed the ideal mother for him, says Raymond. April Raymond, JJ was very difficult to take care of. So I really admired how patient she was with him and how much care she took of him. But it was Tylee's bond with JJ that Tylee's close friend, oh my gosh, I'm never going to say this, Basia, will always remember. She says, I love being around JJ. And Tylee was really protective over JJ. And she was kind of like another mama to him. Well, she had to be because Lori was freaking crazy. But around 2017, friends say Lori's relationship with her kids began to shift. Sometime after she started reading the books of Chad Daybell. Daybell was a professional gravedigger, turned novelist and podcaster from Rexburg, Idaho. He wrote religious tales about the destruction of the world. Morgan Lowe, I guess that's how you say it, investigative reporter and CBS news consultant. He tapped into his prepper element out there, people who wanted to prepare for Armageddon. Daybell was married. He and his wife Tammy was raising 5 children. Some say over the years, Chad's religious beliefs became extreme. He believed he could talk to dead people and see into the future. Boy, he couldn't see into the future, could he? I bet he never dreamed he'd be sitting in a jail cell charged with murder. According to one witness, Chad talked about dark spirits and zombies. Where in the Bible does it mention zombies? Somebody please tell me. I always say this. They're such weirdos. Morgan Lowe. Chad had this belief that some people who were on this earth weren't really the people they were supposed to be. Their souls had left them, and evilness took over their bodies. And the only way to release their spirit to heaven was to kill the bodies. Well, I hope y'all get the death penalty so y'all souls can be released, you freaking freaks. Because they are pure evil. Chad and Lori, they are pure evil. Sometime in 2018, Lori met Chad, developing what friends say seemed like a cult-like devotion to him. She's a loser. Basia, who was a fan of his writing, and when she actually got to talk to him, it just escalated from there. Lori started doing podcasts with Chad. Soon she was talking about dark spirits and zombies, telling friends and family that she had been chosen by God to carry out his mission. You know what? If my sister started saying that, I'd have them freaking committed somewhere. I'd do everything in my power to have them committed. Okay. Morgan Lowe. Lori believed she was chosen to lead 144,000 after the apocalypse, to lead the survivors of the human race to an eternal life while the rest of society burned. Lord have mercy. She also believed she had been appointed another, more ominous role, says Raymond. April Raymond, part of her mission on Earth was to eliminate the darkness, the demonic, the evil. And you didn't find this alarming, April? That your friend was talking about eliminating people that had evil in them? Raymond says Lori told her one of those evil beings was her own husband, Charles Vallow. Did you warn Charles about this, April? Probably not. April, the way she had explained it to me about Charles, he was already dead, and that there was a demon living inside of him. No, bitch, there's a demon living inside of you. Officer Doringbush, Gilbert Police Department. What did she say yesterday? Charles Vallow. She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are." Okay, what you did. what you did with Charles. Charles was so spooked by Lori, he went to the police. Their conversation was recorded on the officer's body cam. Charles Vallow, she thinks she's a resurrected being and a god. Morgan Lowe, Charles, he was worried about his safety and the safety of his children. Okay, here's his conversation with the police officer, Officer Dornbush. Okay, so what makes her a danger to herself and others? Charles, she threatened me to murder me, kill me. Officer Dornbush, she threatened to murder you? Charles Vallow, yes. In the winter of 2019, Charles Vallow changed the beneficiary of his $1 million life insurance policy from Lori to his sister, Kay Woodcock, JJ's biological grandmother. After almost 13 years of marriage, Charles Vallow filed for divorce. Poor Charles. He seemed like such a good guy. He's good looking, too. Charles Vallow to police officers. She's unhinged. It scared the crap out of me. And they didn't do nothing to help him. Charles Vallow had good reason to be scared. A deadly premonition. By the summer of 2019, Charles Vallow had gone to the police twice, claiming there was something desperately wrong with his estranged wife, Lori Vallow. Charles Vallow said, she's gone. Something's happened to her. But no one acted on it, and Charles Vallow let his guard down. On the morning of July 11th, Charles went to Lori's rental home in Chandler, Arizona to pick up JJ to take him to school. Morgan Lowe, he goes into the house. Lori, Tylee, and JJ are there, and so is Alex Cox. Alex Cox is Lori's brother. Morgan Lowe, Alex was Lori's protector. He never hesitated to resort to violence if he believed he was defending his sister. Within minutes of entering the house that morning, Charles was laying on the floor in a pool of blood, shot twice in the chest by Alex Cox in what Alex claimed was self-defense. Alex calmly called 911. 911 dispatcher. Is he breathing? Alex Cox, I can't tell. Morgan Lowe, he said, I need to report a shooting. I shot my brother-in-law in self-defense. So 911 dispatcher says, and he is hurt? Is he alive? Or Alex, yeah, there's blood. He's not moving. Dispatchers instructed Alex Cox on how to perform CPR. Are you still doing chest compressions with him? Alex said yes. He never did any. When police questioned him, Cox was sitting on the curb outside the home. He told them Charles and Lori had gotten into a fight. There he is. No injuries. So the police officer says in the body cam video, so you got in an argument? What is it over? Alex, well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her. I don't believe that for 1 second. They set him up. They knew when he walked in the house that morning they were going to kill him. Cox told them he got between Charles and Lori and shot Charles dead when Charles charged at him. At some point, Lori and Tylee got into the car and left. Went and got Burger King, went and got some flip-flops. Lori takes JJ to school, and she comes back later with Tylee. In the body cam video, police blurred Tylee's face because she was a minor. Chandler police officer, body cam video. Hi, who are you? Lori speaks. Okay, just stand over there for just a second. Morgan Lowe, what was striking about the footage that we saw was there was no remorse. There's no, oh my gosh, my husband's dead. She is happy as a pig in mud, honey. Look at that smile. Okay, we're not going to go over what else she said. Okay, Lori, Alex, and Tylee were questioned at the police headquarters. All told similar stories of self-defense and were sent home. About 2 months later, Lori and the two kids moved to Rexburg, Idaho, not far from where Chad Daybell lived with his wife, Tammy. Lori's brother, Alex, the man she considered her protector, moved into the same complex. I wouldn't, it wouldn't surprise me if Lori and Alex were incest or something. Morgan Lowe, Lori sort of viewed Alex as the destroyer of bad things in her eyes. He was there to take care of the problems. It appears one problem was Tylee Ryan. Morgan Lowe, we know that in the spring of 2019, Lori started referring to Tylee as a zombie to at least one of her close friends. One of those close friends was April Raymond. And she didn't report this to CPS or anything. April Raymond, and she had described Tylee as having a dark spirit. The last known picture of Tylee Ryan are on September 8th. She was with Lori, JJ, and Alex at Yellowstone National Park. The 16-year-old was never seen again. And just 2 weeks later, JJ Vallow would go missing. Last pictures. The murderer stands behind them. Okay. Morgan Lowe. Tylee was JJ's protector. Once she was gone, JJ had nobody. He had nobody to protect him or watch out for him. The night before JJ vanished, Lori's good friend, Melanie Gibb, who is a freaking weirdo, and her boyfriend, David Warwick, were staying at Lori's townhome. They later testified that they were recording a religious podcast in Lori's kitchen when Alex Cox appeared. Melanie Gibb, he brought JJ into the house during the middle of the podcast. Rob Wood, Madison County, City of Rexburg Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. How did Alex Cox bring JJ into the house? Melanie Gibb, he carried him in and he was asleep. Now, allegedly, they found him. When they found him buried in Chad's yard, he had red pajamas on. That's what I've heard. A photo of JJ wearing red pajamas was taken the same day. It is the last known photo of him. Warwick testified that Alex put JJ to bed in Lori's room, but the little boy was nowhere to be seen the next morning. Lori told David why. David Warwick, she said he was being a zombie, climbed up on the cabinets, climbed up on top of the fridge, smashed her picture of Christ down, then climbed up onto the upper cabinets and got between the tops of the cabinets and the ceiling. Wow. Rob Wood, okay. And then what did she tell you? David, I asked to see him and she said that he was out of control, so she had Alex come and get him. JJ was never seen again. Across town, another family was about to get lost in the wreckage. More mysterious deaths. These are the times that Garth and Emma Daybell cherish. Okay, so they're looking at some family photos. Garth Daybell looking through family photos. Life was good. Life was happy. Life looks a whole lot different now. Jonathan Bigelotti. How do you feel as you look through these much happier times? Emma. There's been so much sadness. There's a part of me that feels broken, like it'll never be fixed. Before anyone knew Tylee and JJ were missing, the Daybell children became part of the story. A story that began on the saddest day of their lives, October 19, 2019. Garth Daybell. I was asleep. I heard a thump and heard my dad yell, Garth, Garth, come quick. Garth found his mother, 49-year-old Tammy Daybell, lying half on the bed, half on the floor. Garth, I just ran over, picked her up, and put her back on the bed. And I said to my dad, I said, I think she's dead. You didn't think that was weird that your dad didn't pick her back up as soon as she fell? So didn't rush over there to see what was wrong? He just started yelling at you? God, these kids are dumb. Leah Murphy, in tears. It was just heartbreaking. Is her name Lee or Leah? It may be Lee. It just seems so unfathomable that this could even happen. Then Garth says, my dad was just pacing back and forth, just saying, why? How could this happen? Pointing at pictures on the wall. She can't be dead. Like, how could this be? What do we do? You didn't think that was a little dramatic? You think it was weird he wasn't rushing over trying to help your mom? When the coroner arrived, the family says she told them it looked like Tammy had died of natural causes. The children who say their mother was in failing health did not question it. Failing health? She was young. Emma, she would get out of breath very quickly and would get very tired. And she started going to bed very early at night because your daddy's probably poisoning her. The family declined an autopsy, a decision that would later cause some to question how Tammy Daybell really died. Jonathan Bigelotti. A lot of people think that your father didn't want an autopsy because he murdered her and didn't want to be caught. Do you buy that? Emma. The narrative is that he was going, no autopsy. But he was standing there in complete shock, traumatized, letting us make the decision. If he was trying to hide something, I wouldn't leave something like that up to my kids if I was trying to hide something. He has y'all brainwashed. He knew if he acted that way, you wouldn't want an autopsy. Duh. But even the kids admit Lori Vallow was a little harder to explain. Garth Daybell, she just kind of appeared. Roughly 2 weeks after their mother's death, Chad, ukulele in hand, was celebrating on the beach in Hawaii with his new bride. Jonathan Vigalotti, how did you process all that? Emma, that was really hard and it really surprised us, and it was clear that he had an emotional connection with her. It's clear he'd been having an affair, honey. So Jonathan says, I know this is a difficult question, but was your father having an affair with Lori while he was married to your mother? Emma, that depends on your definition of affair. Emma likes to deflect, if y'all can't tell. She deflects. This depends on your definition of affair. Emotionally, I would say yes. Physically, I think my father thought he was in the right because I haven't had sex with her, so I'm being faithful. She really thinks that Chad didn't have sex with Lori. She really thinks that. They've broken every other commandment. They've murdered, lied, cheated. I mean, Lord have mercy. Okay, Jonathan, did it ever cross your mind, even for a moment, that your father killed your mother to clear the way so he could marry Lori? Daybell's siblings, they all said no. Jonathan, I think common sense in a lot of ways would suggest there could be a motive behind the sudden passing. Emma, I can see where people would say that. It was very socially inappropriate choice to make. Lord have mercy. Socially inappropriate choice to make, she says. And socially inappropriate doesn't mean something bad happened, though. Honey, something bad did happen. He was screwing around on your mommy. He murdered her. They murdered 2 kids. She is dumb. But something bad did happen, and the world was about to learn about it. On November 26, 2019, soon after the newlyweds returned to Idaho, Rexburg police came knocking on Lori's door looking for JJ. His grandmother, Kay Woodcock, had been unable to reach him for several months. Lori told them JJ was in Arizona with a friend. The police recorded their conversation. Lieutenant Ron Ball, Rexburg PD. Who's the friend he's with? Lori, my friend Melanie. That same friend who was staying with Lori the last time JJ was seen, Melanie Gibb, she would testify at Chad Daybell's preliminary hearing that Chad told her not to pick up the phone when the police called, and that Lori asked her to lie and tell police JJ was staying with her in Arizona. Rob Wood, how did that make you feel? Melanie Gibb, I had a really bad feeling in my stomach, and I felt very shooken up by it. At first, Gibb wasn't forthcoming to police, but 12 days later, she made a call to Lori and Chad and secretly recorded it. Melanie Gibb, is JJ safe? Lori, he is safe and happy. Chad said they couldn't tell her where JJ was for her own security. Chad, if you knew, that would put you in danger. Lord have mercy. And this bitch believed it. Gibb handed the secret recording to authorities, and investigators launched a nationwide search. But not just for JJ. They would soon learn that his big sister, Tylee, was missing. It was huge news, especially to Lori's new stepchildren. Jonathan, when did you know that she had 2 kids? Garth Daybell. I first heard of her children when a detective came to my work and asked me about them. I had never heard of them before that point. And you don't think that's weird? Your daddy goes and marries somebody 2 weeks after your mom died. Don't bother to tell you about it. Don't bother to tell you about the kids either. Jonathan, so even after your father weds Lori, you didn't know that there were 2 kids in the picture at that point. Garth did not. As the hunt for the children intensified, Lori and Chad again headed to Hawaii, seemingly the only 2 people in America not concerned about the missing children. Nate Eaton found her in Hawaii. He approached her. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your children? She wouldn't answer. Jonathan, when you spoke to your father, hearing the mounting criticism, the ongoing and growing manhunt for them, did you ever say to your father, just show the kids? Emma, yes. Jonathan, and what did he say? Emma says, he said we can't for their safety. Mm-hmm. Jonathan, what were they afraid of? What was making JJ unsafe? Emma, I don't know. Garth says, I don't know either. So Jonathan says, you're telling me at no point here did you think, oh God, there's something bad going on here. We need to get to the bottom of this. Lee Murphy, we, of course, had those thoughts briefly, but it all came down to our trust in our father. We trusted him. He trusted Lori. I think that's really how it played out. These kids are brainwashed. I mean, they're brainwashed. Play out it did, but not the way they wanted. Lori was arrested in Hawaii on child abandonment charges, extradited to Rexburg. Chad Daybell, the loyal husband, by her side, but now Chad himself was under suspicion. With the children missing, the police took a closer look at the death of Tammy. Could she have been murdered? Authorities examined her body. Okay, so Garth says, it took us calling our grandfather and having him run to the cemetery to verify that the grave was disturbed. And that was probably one of the hardest things we've gone through. Lee Murphy, everything just keeps getting piled on us, it feels like. In a truth is stranger than fiction plot twist. Yet another death. Lori's brother, Alex Cox, suddenly dropped dead. An autopsy determined in natural causes. It's what you call karma. Morgan Lowe, that was just a jaw-dropping moment because that's somebody who could have answered questions. And if Alex hadn't died, he would have been charged with murder too. They say dead men don't talk, but this one did. Alex Cox's cell phone harbored a tale of horrors waiting to be discovered in Chad Daybell's backyard. He was framed. This is a long article, I told y'all. I can't see the chat, so. June 9th, 2020, law enforcement descended upon the once peaceful home and property of Chad Daybell, searching for signs of JJ and Tally. According to the prosecution, Alex Cox's cell phone data placed him in Chad Daybell's backyard for 2 hours the day after Tally Ryan was last seen. Authorities later discovered her remains in the same spot. There's one of the children of the corn there, Emma. They're brainwashed. It was an area that Daybell's family used as a pet cemetery. It now contained Tally's badly burned body. And about 50 yards away, JJ's remains were found in a shallow grave under a tree. He was in his red pajamas. JJ was also covered head to toe in duct tape, as a detective would later describe. Detective Ray Hermosillo, he had duct tape continuously wrapped from elbow all the way around his arm, over his hands, all the way to his right elbow. Morgan Lowe, why do you bind someone's feet and hands and mouth in duct tape? You do it to keep them from yelling or talking. Morgan, these were real kids that had these horrendous things done to them. While investigators were discovering the brutally murdered bodies, Chad had gone to his car. Later, says Emma, as her father started driving off to meet his attorney, they learned the horrifying news. Emma, when my dad left, they arrested him. Some police officers told me they had discovered human remains on the property. I was standing in the doorway of the police car as he was sitting inside handcuffed, and the first thing he asked me was, do you know why they arrested me? And my thought was, how do you not know? And I was crying. I said, Dad, they found human remains. And his face went white and his eyes went wide. He was shocked. He was shocked that they found where he put the bodies. Jonathan, when the bodies were found in your father's backyard, after your father was unable to answer the simple question of where are the children, was that a moment where you questioned your father's innocence? Lee Murphy, not my father. Wow, God almighty, y'all, they are so blind. Mark Daybell, it goes back to what we know about him as a man, as our father. Have they not never read about serial killers? like BTK. He was like married and stuff. Nobody, his family didn't think he was capable of doing that crap either. But he did. He did. He lived a double life. Okay, Mark Daybell. It goes back to what we know about him as a man, as our father. Well, you didn't really know your dad, honey. Jonathan, if he didn't kill them, then why were their bodies found buried in your father's backyard? Emma, I don't know why they would be there. She's so dumb. But I do know that if he were to commit a crime, he wouldn't be foolish enough to put the evidence in his own backyard. Yes, he did. Emma Murray, on Daybell's property. This is where Tylee's body was found. It's back here. Jonathan, it must be hard for you to come and visit this area. I know, Emma says, I don't come back here. It's horrific to even think about. Emma showed 48 hours around the property, believing that the area itself helps explain why her family thinks her father is innocent. For them, the notion that Chad would hide anything in the backyard makes no sense. Well, he's a dumbass criminal. It don't make sense. None of it makes sense. But he did it. Emma, you can look around for miles and miles. There's not houses and neighbors. You could go down the river that way. There's land that no one would ever touch. And the Daybell family says the fact that the remains were found in shallow graves points fingers away from their father, who had worked as a grave digger. Well, he didn't dig the graves. I guess he sent stupid Alex to do it. Seth Daybell, he knew how to dig graves, and that just doesn't sound believable to me. Morgan, saying that someone's prior experience as a grave digger means that they wouldn't just sloppily bury somebody in their own backyard sorts of discounts all the psychological pressure that might be affecting someone who's trying to get rid of bodies. Exactly. But maybe the most damning evidence against Chad are his own words. A text message he sent 9 months before the bodies were discovered to his then wife, Tammy. It read, in part, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and I got my gun. One shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery. Morgan, the fact that Chad sent that text to his wife, it was like he was setting up an excuse. Yeah. It was sent on the day prosecutors believed Tylee was buried, 14 minutes after Alex Cox's GPS placed him on the Daybell property. Jonathan, the timeline is very chilling. Alex Cox there, your father, texting your mother saying he shot and buried a raccoon around the same time in exactly the place that Tylee was found. Seems like a smoking gun to me. It is. Garth Daybell. Well, that same day when I arrived home from work, he said, hey, Garth, I got that raccoon we were looking for. We were having a raccoon problem. We'd set out traps. The traps were too small, so the next best option was to shoot them. Shoot little innocent raccoons? Really? You're okay with that too, Garth? However, investigators found no raccoon. The Daybell family says that's because there's another pet cemetery in a different spot. Y'all got more bodies buried there in that pet cemetery? Emma, pointing into the backyard. Over there is where our secondary pet cemetery was. Garth Daybell. We had a new section of our pasture that we had designated for burying animals. These people are such weirdos. Emma, they didn't go over to that section at all and search it. Well, is there bodies over there? Do they need to? She's dumb as hell. I don't like her. Garth Daybell, they didn't touch it at all during the search. Well, they didn't freaking have to because the bodies was buried over here in the other cemetery. Duh. Okay. Morgan Lowe, if there is a second pet cemetery, I would imagine the defense is going to come up with evidence. But the evidence prosecutors had against Chad and Lori was mounting, and in May 2021, Chad and Lori were charged with murder in the deaths of JJ and Tylee. Emma Murray, I don't know that my father believes that killing someone, murdering someone is not what God wants. Oh, it says, I do know that my father believes that killing someone, murdering someone is not what God wants. She's so dumb. But Chad did believe that some individuals had dark spirits like Tylee. A Fox TV station uncovered an email from Chad to Lori where he graded people, giving Tylee a D as a dark spirit. Emma, I don't know what to say. It just seems immature, but I don't know. They all say there was no talk of zombies. They also say there was no talk of zombies or cults. Well, by gosh, they did talk about zombies and cults, and there's evidence of it. Garth, he never said a thing about to us about zombies because he knowed y'all wouldn't believe it. The first we ever heard of it was in a news report. Emma, I think if he was going to start a cult, we would be the prime members. You are, honey. You are in his cult. You believe everything that he says. You think that everything that happened is not his fault. It's all Lori. He was framed. He's like, has no responsibility here. According to y'all, the children of the corn. They are in his cult. God damn, they pissed me off. Okay, he would have started with us. It just didn't happen. Yeah, he's got y'all brainwashed. Newsflash. Maybe in about 25 years, you'll realize it. Jonathan, so you don't believe your father radicalized Lori? Emma Murray shakes her head no. Lee, we really don't know Lori or what she was thinking, but we do know our dad. No, you don't. Still, investigative reporter Morgan Lowe says the suspicion surrounding Chad is hard to ignore. They're ignoring it and placing blame on everybody else but Chad. Morgan, there's a lot of pieces of circumstantial evidence that tie Chad Daybell to these murders. The bodies were found in his backyard. The text messages about the raccoon, his wife died under mysterious circumstances, and he asked Melanie Gibb to not pick up the phone when police called. Those pieces of evidence are hard to get around. Lee Murphy, we do want there to be justice for whoever did this horrible crime. Seth Daybell, we don't want to seem callous, that we don't feel sad about JJ and Tyler. Well, y'all come off as callous and freaking cold. Your sister Emma shouldn't be the spokesperson for the family because she comes off cold as hell. She's a complete weirdo. Emma, because we do. Seth, yeah, because we do. Y'all, I know, y'all care so much that you went down there and ripped down memorial stuff that people left on the fence for JJ and Tyler. That's how much y'all freaking care. God, these people. Emma, we are very sad. You're sad that your dad's been cuffed and stuffed. That's what you're sad about. And been charged with these heinous crimes. That's what you're sad about. That's it, lady. We just don't think it was our father. Oh, yeah. And the family has an alternate theory about what may have happened. Jonathan, what do you think really unfolded? Emma, he was framed. This is his property. If there's bodies buried here, it would be attributed to him. Jonathan, who framed your father? I think it's pretty clear it was Lori and Alex. Alex came and left for periods of time. We don't know what exactly he was doing. Sweetheart, your father was home when Alex was there. Morgan, I guess it's possible that Chad was framed. This is either the least lucky person in the world or this is murder. The Daybell children are forever marked by what happened to their backyard. Jonathan Bigelotti on the Daybell property. What goes on in your mind as you stand here looking at what was the gravesite for JJ? Emma, it's horrible. It's hard to even comprehend. It's a nightmare for me. Cries every single day to even think about it. Lives with so much potential and goodness, and they're gone. They're ended. Yeah, because your daddy and his hoary wife. But Emma still believes their father, Chad Daybell, had no role in the deaths of JJ and Tylee. She remained convinced that he was unwittingly lured into Lori Vallow and Alex Cox's web of murder and deceit. Jonathan, how could he be surrounded by such evil and not know it? Emma, I've wondered the same thing. I think he was fooled in the worst, most deadly way possible. Jonathan, if your father had no role whatsoever, why do you think Alex and Lori would kill the children? Garth, we'd have to get into their head to know that. Emma, I think we would all like to know that. One theory goes back to the death of Charles Vallow, Lori's husband, when she first met Chad Daybell. Remember, Charles was shot dead by Alex Cox, who claimed it was self-defense. After further investigation, police now say that it was murder. Tylee may have been a witness that day, and it is possible, says Lori's longtime friend April Raymond, that she knew too much. Why do you think the children were murdered? April Raymond, I feel like they were a liability, especially Tylee was a liability for what she knew. Morgan Lowe, Tylee is dead. JJ is dead. Even Alex Cox is dead. Although investigators say he died of natural causes, you can't ignore the idea that every witness to what happened to Charles Vallow is now dead, except for Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell. Exactly. Based on a summary of police evidence, prosecutors in Arizona charged Lori with conspiring with Alex to kill Charles Vallow. Morgan, it's a compelling case that they have. They have electronic evidence. They have text messages. What they say is that this was a planned event. Lori and Alex planned to kill Charles Vallow. One possible motive, says Lowe, she wanted Vallow's $1 million life insurance policy. We know shortly after Charles' death, Lori tried to claim the life insurance policy. Police say Cox shot Charles once in the chest, shot him again while he was helpless on the ground. They also concluded he waited nearly 45 minutes before calling 911. He needed to make sure Charles was dead. Even though Cox claimed to be giving Charles CPR, police say he was only pretending to try to save his life. Of course. Okay, Morgan, when first responders arrived on the scene, they started performing CPR. Blood started coming out of the wounds, and that told the first responders that nobody had performed CPR before. And authorities say Charles Vallow is not the only murdered spouse in this story. In Idaho, Chad and Lori have been charged with conspiring to murder Tammy Daybell, though the results of Tammy's autopsy performed after she was exhumed have not been publicly released. Garth Daybell says authorities told him how they believed his mother was killed. Garth Daybell, they told me that she'd been asphyxiated. Jonathan, what went on in your mind when you had police telling you your mother was asphyxiated? Garth, it's hard to process, but I just still can't believe that he would do such a thing. He did. Lee says, my dad loved my mom very, very much, and she loved him. He could never do that. He loved her so much that he went and hooked up with this whore, Lori Vallow. Okay. Police are convinced that together Chad and Lori were a lethal combination. There's a lot of big questions about this case, but the biggest is probably who is the mastermind here. Was it Chad Daybell, the cult leader who pulled the strings from the sidelines? Or was it Lori Vallow, the bombshell, the Black Widow, who used her charm and sex appeal to get other people to do her bidding? She's not a bombshell. Y'all can quit saying that. Okay, gosh, this is long. Lori and Chad are scheduled to be tried together, but that is now in question. Just after murder charges were announced, Lori's case was put on hold. A judge ruled her incompetent to stand trial while she undergoes mental health treatment. Morgan, and we don't know if she's ever going to be returned to competency. Yeah, she will. Chad may go to trial without Lori. Maybe. In August 2021, the state of Idaho announced it will be seeking the death penalty against Chad Daybell. He has pleaded not guilty to all counts. September marks the second anniversary of Tylee and JJ's deaths. So many grief-stricken and angry awaits the trial, hoping for justice. But in the end, no verdict can do what everyone wants the most, to bring the children back. Tylee would have turned 19 later this month. JJ would now be 9 years old. Chad Daybell's trial is scheduled to start November 2021. These kids are in Chad Daybell's cult, and they don't even freaking know it, guys. They don't even freaking know it. They have blamed everybody except for their own father. Can you believe that? Now I'm going to look at the chat. I know that was long, but some people may have not watched that last night. So I just want to read over it because I'm just like blown away by the children of the corn. They will forever be known as the children of the corn to me. I cannot believe they are that dumb and naive. Their father was home. There's cell phone data evidence of that. When Alex was there burying the kids, they was all in on it. I know nobody wants to believe that their dad or mom or brother or sister could be capable of that, but it happens all the time. Look at all these serial killers, that had been married, had kids, good family guy. I mean, look at all of them. And it's come out they were monsters. Their families was shocked too. But they had to believe it when the evidence was put in front of them. It's just so, yeah, it is sad, Lisa, all the way around. It is sad. And I do feel bad for them. I do. I do feel bad for them, but they're just so damn stupid. I'm sorry. They're just so ignorant and blind to Chad. Jack's mom. They're the children of the corn. I mean, he has them brainwashed. They don't give a damn about JJ and Tylee. They really don't. What they care about is their daddy. And that's all they care about. That was obvious. Pretty obvious. How could you not think your dad was involved when there's kids buried in the backyard? And, their explanation, he's framed. He was a grave digger. He would have done a better job digging the graves. But they was in a panic, a hurry, It's just rubby. That's how that works, team. Yep. Those graves had to be already dug before Lori's brother got there. Yeah, they was probably in a hurry. That's why he couldn't do too good of a job at it. Mark's went and dug graves before. Him and this guy. But they used like this grave digging machine. I can't remember what he said, but it takes a while to do that. To dig like a 6-foot grave, right? See, they think that they're not in his cult, but they really are. He's got them brainwashed. And Emma's a weirdo like her daddy. I'm sorry. I feel bad for her, but she's a weirdo. She's one of them people that don't show emotion or something. Just to me, all she cares about is her damn daddy. Sure, I'm going to have to take me a toke here because they got me all mad. Those children are assisting in conspiracy to murder by playing dumb, lying so flagrantly. Quit your day job, Emma. Actually, please do. No children should be trusted around her. Hey, she's a complete weirdo. I miss the children of the corn. I guess that's good. Yeah. Chad Daybell's kids, they're now called the children of the corn. Because all they care about is their freaking daddy. They don't care nothing about their mommy. They don't think that's weird. That Tammy falls halfway off the bed and Chad starts yelling for Garth and don't even go over and try to pick up his wife. They don't think that's a bit weird. They don't think it was like over dramatic that he's pointing at pictures on the wall instead of over there trying to give his wife CPR. They are so blind, y'all. They frustrate me. I don't know what she is. She said people have been threatening her on social media. I don't think that's right. They can't help what their daddy done. But I'm going to tell you what, they're going to get a lot more hate from these people on social media now because of that interview. Is it me? Do y'all think they showed compassion? Do y'all think they showed compassion for JJ and Tylee? I don't. All I read and heard was her taking up for Chad, every one of them. And blaming everybody. He's got no responsibility at all, y'all. None. According to them. If she's a teacher, I wouldn't want her teaching my kids. I bet she's hateful. They was raised in a weirdo home anyways. Not saying all Mormons are weird, but Chad's beliefs in them. Can you imagine? They think their dad's like a freaking prophet. They are so naive. Just like Candace sitting on the back of the truck after calling 911 versus searching. She knew she didn't need to search. Yeah, probably. She's done something, didn't she, Jack's mom? She knows something, I believe. I tried to give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's highly unlikely that child was abducted from that holler. I mean, really. And if she was, it had to have been a local. It had to have been. They've made a mockery out of their daughter's case. Zero compassion, and they blamed Lori. I know it. I knew yesterday when we was reading about this. And by the way, the little clip of we watched the 48 hours mystery yesterday, I had to trim it out this morning. I got in trouble for it, so it's no longer there. But I knew yesterday they were going to blame her. And for them to think that Chad didn't have sex with Lori before Tammy died. Oh my gosh. They're naive. They've not been out in the world much. Well, Lori did bake his kids' cookies when their mom died. Did she? She baked his kids' cookies. I didn't know that. After the crap they pulled, I'm looking at both of them. Yep. Me too, Kathy. Weirdos. What Candace needs to do is quit pranking people, get off her damn fat ass and clean that house up. If her house was in that shape and they went on strung out on drugs, the other kids would still be there. It's a good thing they're freaking not. They'd be living in a house like that. Again, these adult children are showing signs of accepting multiple spousal relationship. It was a very telling interview for sure. I know. They must be naive. When people have affairs, they're getting in the sack together. That's just the way it works. I've always felt like they were involved in some way. It's just disgusting to me. They keep getting on the podcast talking and talking about themselves, nothing about Summer. I know it. Attention seekers, Cheryl. Don's an asshole. Do we know if it was a prank for sure? Well, RNA, I listened to Voices Behind the Walls video yesterday. I think it was the first one she did yesterday. And she said she had talked to Dawn a few hours before she done that stream. So it looks like it was a prank. Someone said in the chat, I can't remember who it was, that Dawn had tried to get her to go along with a prank, and she was like, no, I'm not doing it. A few weeks ago or something. Now they pulled this crap. Got no respect for you, Dawn and Candace. None. Freaking hillbillies. People like them's why everybody thinks Southern people is freaking hillbillies and stuff. Because of them. I promise you, most people don't live like that around here and down in East Tennessee. They just don't. You know, everywhere, every place in the world's got some nasty people here and there. I really got the we do wife swaps at church vibe from the one that looks like Mini Chad. That one, he was probably giving the FBI plenty. He seemed very talkative. I know, bless their hearts. Some of them look just like Chad. Oh, my Lord. I tell you what, I don't like Emma too well, y'all. I do not like her too well. I mean, she just seems cold-hearted to me. All she's worried about is her freaking daddy. Your daddy is a child murderer, freak. I shouldn't call her that. But, I mean, she is freakish like her daddy. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about it. I know that they're victims, and I'm not victim bashing, but, I mean, come on now. They're acting like their daddy don't have no responsibility in this. None whatsoever. None. It's all Lori. No, it was both of them. Some people's like fire and gasoline, and that's Lori and Chad. I believe Lori's schizophrenic or something. Sometimes I feel like she's schizophrenic, but she still knew what she was doing. They aren't victims. They need to get charges for helping cover up a major crime. I'm like, who could still live there in that house? And you know what? If you had a heart, she said she never goes back there to where JJ and Tylee was buried. I mean, for number one, I wouldn't be living in that house. But you would think if you had a heart, you'd go back there and lay some damn flowers down or something. They can't be that stupid that they think that somebody drugged two bodies onto Chad's property and him didn't know it. They cannot be that freaking stupid. I don't got no, I mean, I feel bad for them because y'all know I got a big heart. Damn, that interview pissed me off. They blame everybody but Chad. And they didn't have no compassion, I didn't think, for JJ and Tylee. It's all about their daddy. Their daddy. Stick your daddy up your ass. Lori is playing. Oh, you know she's playing them therapists. You know she is. Probably in there flirting with them. She's going to blame all this on Chad. Let me tell you what she's going to say. If she flips on him, she's going to say, he told me he took the kids to a safe place. But I don't know if that would work because of Alex's cell phone data and stuff. But she may try to say that. It probably wouldn't work. RNA. Gosh. I pray walking past my neighbor's house who just died, and I don't even know him. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Because you have a compassionate heart. You should, you have sympathy and empathy for people. They don't. All they care about is their deity. Yes, Lori is meandering or playing like she's incompetent, waiting for Chad's case to proceed and be served. Yep. Yep. And he's told his kids, I was framed. I was framed. I just really don't believe deep down inside they really believe that. I know. They come off pretty cold-hearted to me. Every damn one of them. I don't believe people should be reaching out and threatening them, though. I don't roll like that. I don't believe in doing stuff like that. Don't bother them. Every dog has its day. Their daddy's going to get their karma. But there's no sense in bothering them and threatening her young son. People's nuts on here, on the internet. I don't believe in doing crazy shit like that. You've got to be crazy to do such a thing. Yes. Yeah. See, Lori's crazy. Crazy, evil. But she knew exactly what she was doing. She knew what she was doing. She's trying to cash in on Charles' life insurance policy, didn't she? Here comes somebody at my driveway. See who this weirdo is. Oh, it's my neighbor. Tammy lived there with the kid rotting in her backyard by her duck pond. I know it. She liked ducks, didn't she? She had a pet duck or something. She had pet ducks because on her tombstone there's ducks. The kids don't got enough sense to know that Chad put on this act when their mother died. Like he was just all distraught. And told them, it was their choice about an autopsy because he knew they wouldn't do it because he was acting so distraught. And they don't got enough common sense to see that. Garth don't even have enough common sense that his dad didn't rush over and pick his wife up off the floor. He's laying half on the floor and on the bed. He just started screaming. See, that don't even make sense. Why wouldn't you rush over there to pick your wife up off the floor? You holler at your teenage son to do it? Come on. Oh, he probably did. Lori had bought the wedding rings on Amazon 2 weeks before Tammy even died. Well, yeah, about 2 weeks, I guess. Before Tammy died, she's on Amazon ordering their wedding rings. They knew she's going to die. Now, I heard Tammy was training for, I could be wrong about this, for like some kind of run, marathon. So her health couldn't have been that bad. Right? She was in good spirits at work and stuff. But the kids are saying, oh, she gets out of breath, gets tired. Hell, I get out. When you get so old, we get out of breath. I get tired sometimes too. You know, when you work and you're running the house and stuff, you get tired. You might go to bed early. That don't mean she was in failing health. Hell, I sit down in the recliner and doze off all the time like an old person. Why they keep acting like, she was like in this terrible health? That's not true, from what I understand. Me, my greasy see no revenge for me either. At least I try not to. Yeah, I'm just not one of these people that get on and reach out to these victims and their families and stuff. Hell, I barely get on Facebook. Most of the time, I deactivate mine till I need to look something up. But I mean, that's just not my style to do stuff like that and threaten them and stuff. That's crazy. What good's that going to do? You shouldn't do that. Threaten little innocent kids. Now, Emma's little boy or whatever, little kid, is innocent. At least. What are y'all making? 80 quarts of what? Oh my gosh, yeah, my cucumbers didn't turn out too good. They didn't grow too good. Oh my goodness. Oh, guys. Oh, I'm tired of talking about true crime. I'm tired of talking about the weirdo Daybells. I'm tired of talking about the Wells case, too. I mean, y'all know what I mean. Like this drama going on with it. It's just, it's horrible. Horrible. The case has turned into a soap opera. Total soap opera. That's not going to help find Summer. I mean, really. I'm still like kind of in shock that Dawn and Candace like pulled a prank like that. Allegedly, let me say that. Allegedly pulled a prank like that. I think that shows a lot about them. Swimming in the tomatoes, CC. So I'm making sauce. Oh, okay. Cool. Debbie, next week we start the Gannon Letitia court stuff. Oh, really? We'll have to keep up with that for sure. They're going to have it live. Vicky, what happened? Okay, so Vicky, what happened is allegedly, well, there's a phone call that was recorded. Candace called Dawn's stepsister, Mary, like about at midnight or something, and acted like Dawn had been arrested by the feds and stuff. Mary recorded the phone call. It was on the Unmasked channel. They played it. Mary was on there last night. I really couldn't understand a lot Candace was saying because she had her mouth up to the freaking phone and she was spitting when she's talking and all kinds of crap. She said something about like he was arrested by the feds and took to Boston. There was something said about the cartel. Bunch of hogwash. Let me go get the link. Let me see if I have the link. Oh, I think that's the link to Unmasked channel right there. But allegedly, that's not true. He was not arrested or anything. They just pulled a prank to get back at Mary, I guess. It's crazy. It is crazy. And he turned on Voices Behind the Walls, real nasty to her. She said last Saturday, I guess his mask fell off and, you know, he was just real nasty to her. She said Candace had been nasty to her too. Let me tell you something. That old bitch wouldn't have been nasty to me, but one time I'd have told her to stuff it. Behind the dumbbells don't fall far from the tree. What more do they need? Front row seats to the actual murders. Thank you, Margot. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't mean to be so mean and rough on the children of the corn, but I mean, they act like they've been brainwashed and they're in a cult. Well, they're in their daddy's cult and they just don't even know it, which is crazy. Well, Candace's story on what happened to Summer does not make sense. No, it don't. Now, Voices Behind the Walls, she said something about Candace saying the cartel took Summer. It was something like that. And I was like, what the hell? Them two's gonna be arrested. Dawn and Candace, I mean. Wish people would leave them be and stop trying to talk to them. Yeah. Nobody needs to give them two weirdos a platform anymore. Hey, if he came to me, Don closed his Facebook page, did he? If he came to me, it's like, hey, I'll give you an interview. I'd say, no, thank you. No, thank you. Mm-mm. That old son of a bitch wouldn't talk to me like that. You could tell that Cher, that's her name, she was upset and stressed out. But this is probably the best thing to happen to her because Don's a piece of crap. He was all nice and, this and that for a while. But he could only be that way for so long till the real him come out. I don't know why he turned on her. I don't know. I need to go back and watch. I didn't have time to watch everything this morning because I was trying to watch that 48 hours thing again this morning too and deal with dogs. What prank did I miss? Oh, Dawn was not arrested and took to Boston like everybody thought. Candace called Dawn's stepsister, Mary. She recorded it. They played the recording on Unmasked channel last night. She was trying to say that the feds come and took Don and took him to Boston or something. Just a bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. They keep up and going to mess up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, Don's stepsister, Mary, she recorded that phone call. Candace called her like 12 a.m., but she gave it to police, she said. They probably done messed up the investigation. Dawn and Candace. Law enforcement's got their eye on them. I mean, she's up on a mountaintop. She disappears. The story don't make sense. Like, if she was helping her mom put on a knee brace, wouldn't she see somebody up there? I don't know. Something just don't make sense. I'd say there was no abduction, guys. I wanted to believe maybe there was. Because nobody wants it to be the parents. I mean, you really don't. But, I mean, they're shady as hell. Alcohol involved, drugs involved, and they go to church on Sunday. I've got those two figured out. Yeah, they party during the week, and sometimes Don's sober, and then on Sunday, they go repent. They're big bullies. Stop looking, said Don. Yeah, he wouldn't bully me. I'd tell him to go get effed. Exactly what I'd tell him. It's all about him. It's all about him. He loves the attention. Pigs, I can't forgive them. No way. I mean, yeah. If anybody's got her on tape saying the cartel took Summer and stuff, she's got some explaining to do to police. She's got some explaining to do anyways. They say she passed the lie detector test. But we don't know if she did or not. Law enforcement didn't confirm that. Pain pills and booze. That's exactly what they do. Pain pills and booze. Some are in a dungeon, cave, cellar. Yeah. And them out here acting like that, Lisa. She could be somewhere, somebody abusing her, torturing her, and they're out pulling pranks on the internet. Getting donations. What do they need donations for? Screw them. They don't need shit. I really want Candace to be innocent because she seemed to really enjoy taking the kids places, but I just lost hope. That's me too. It's crying chat. I want her to be innocent too, but it just don't make sense. It just doesn't. I'd say maybe there was an accident and she covered it up. Maybe the boys didn't witness the accident. Maybe they was inside. I know, like, when my son's playing a game, I can go in there and talk to him. It's like he don't even freaking hear me. And I'd say, son, excuse me. So maybe they were like that and they didn't see what happened or something. I don't know. I feel bad for the boys. They're about to beat the cartel if they don't shut the F up. They're so dumb. If the cartel's going to come up there and take Summer, they wouldn't left no damn witnesses like Candace. Come on now. Did she sell her daughter to somebody or something? Maybe she done that. Hey, little hummingbird. My hummingbirds, they get mad, y'all, when I'm sitting here because they can't get to the feeder. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here and I will see you channel members this evening sometime. Get myself put together. We're going to do a member stream. We'll have some fun. I'll find us some never have I ever. I'll find us some dirty ones, but not too dirty. I'll find some adult ones. Let me put it that way. But not too dirty. I want to ask the dirty ones because I get embarrassed. I try to be ladylike on here. Anyways, y'all have a great day. I've got most of my little chores done around the house already this morning. So I'm going to head over and see Annabelle. And I need to get my white hen back with the flock. She's looking good. Her digestive system's cleared up. But she tries to go crazy every time I try to get her. And I don't want to stress her out because when I was cleaning her up, she was in bad shape and I hurt her a little bit on accident. She's not forgave me for it. Seriously. She said, that chicken's holding a grudge. That hen is. I didn't mean to. I was trying to help her. Anyways, I'm going to get over there and see if I can get some things done. Y'all have a good day. Be safe. Be kind. Peace. Bye, friends. Bye, Mimo.